Well, I'm going to make one last video here. I'm going to wrap up my Star Wars collection. I've got 4 new figures. And these are getting really hard to find. But I did get these 4, and these are going to wrap up my vintage collection. Well, vintage original trilogy collection, VOTC. These are new figures. They're packaged in old-fashioned packaging. Well, at least replicas of the old 1970s and 1980s packaging. You've probably seen many of these in some of my newer videos. I do not have these as loose versions. These are the only ones I have, and the reason because I've got earlier versions from like Power of the Force 2 and the Saga Legends collections, which came out during the last 10 or 15 years. So I'll showcase and we'll look at each. I'll take a look at each one here, and then I'm going to go ahead and have some ending thoughts here on this. This is Wicket. These are all from Return of the Jedi, as you can see on the packaging. This is Wicket. He's the main hero Ewok from Endor. The figure is pretty nicely detailed, as you can see. He also comes with a poncho, and he didn't wear this in the original movie, but he wore this in the TV series, the Ewoks, which came out about 1986 or so. I don't remember the exact year. I never actually watched much of that show, but I do remember the poncho from that. It's very distinctive and very... it doesn't really look right on him originally, but it's not too bad. This is a loose version of Wicket that I got as part of a 2-pack from Saga of the Legends, I believe. He's pretty nicely posed. They're simply posed. They just you can turn the arms and legs. They're just one-piece ball joint, or single, I guess a socket joint, whatever the simple socket joint is. The poncho, his simple headpiece, will come off. This one, the feet do actually pose, but I'm not going to. Since I'm not going to open this, I'm not going to worry too much about that. This is Luke Jedi in his Luke Skywalker in his Jedi Knight outfit. I have been told, and I think I didn't mean to when I got this. I believe this is a variation figure. The packaging, the original version of this, the Luke stands pretty straight, and his lightsaber is on the side of his body on the figure. As you can see, this one he's holding the figure, and it comes with the they call them binders. They're basically like handcuffs that he was being held in when Darth Vader captured him later on in the second half of the movie. I saw a variation packaging of this figure at a local Walmart. Almost thought about getting it, but I decided not to. And it was the same exact figure, but a different package. The Luke, as you can see here, he's confronting Jabba the Hutt. The other one had a picture. It was a brand new picture. It had never been released before. And it showed Luke when he was being escorted by a pair of stormtroopers and an Imperial officer to Darth Vader. And it would have been neat to get that one, but I decided not to. I'm going to kind of wrap these up. I've got about 36 of these figures, these VOTC figures, and 12 from each of the original movies. So I thought that was a nice even number. I do have earlier versions of Luke Jedi. I've got this one here. He's already posed, so he's holding his lightsaber with 2 hands. You can't do much else with him. He can, again, move his arms and legs up and down. He's a little bit thicker. This guy is extremely skinny as a figure, as you can see there. The head's pretty big on him. It looks almost like a lollipop, but it's nicely. The sculpting's pretty good. This is another version that I got. It was a much earlier version. I think this is Power of the Force 2, which came out about 1997-98. So this figure is already about 12, 13 years old. You can take the robe off, but again, he looks not a whole lot different. He looks better with the robe on, so we'll just keep it on him. And plus the fact it stays on him, it doesn't have to be taken off. I also got Lando General Lando Calrissian, and this is when he was dressed up to tackle the Rebel assault on the second Death Star in Return of the Jedi. This figure's pretty good detail. It does look quite a bit like the actor. I think of his name there. Well, anyways, the guy that plays Lando Calrissian. I'll think of his name here in a little bit later. I'm sorry, my memory's flaking. Also have an older version of him. You can see how different looking he is. So it's a rougher sculpt. This is again from Power of the Force 2 from the late 1990s. The newer figure, they got him much more, he's more detailed. I guess it does have the little arm piece on him. It has better detail on him and he poses a lot better. This one, he's more buff. That was kind of typical of the Power of the Force 2. They made the character look almost like He-Man, or something similar to that. They were trying to go for a more muscular look to him. It didn't really work too well, but it made him interesting. This one's a pretty rare one here. This is the Gamorrean Guard, the brand new figure. Well, it's about a month old, but it's new. I just got it today in the mail. As you can see from the figure, he's very, very nicely detailed. He has a proper expression on his face. He has realistic fur. He's got 2 weapons instead of just one. All the versions before him that came before him all had just that axe that you see up here, the big axe. This one comes with the staff also with the blades on it. It's like a pole arm, and it has all. As you can see, all these have the original packaging. If you look on the back, it shows what the originals look like. It's the same exact packaging. I've got 2 of these guys as loose figures. This is Power of the Force 2, and you can see there's a big difference in how they look. The newer version is much more realistic. The paint scheme's much better. You can probably pose better. As you can see, his knees are bendable. This one isn't. They're just they're stiff. And these only came with axes. That's all they came with, and the paint's okay. I mean, these are better than the vintage versions. They were pretty rough back then, but again, kind of it's all relative, I guess, so to speak. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this part of the video. I'm going to re-showcase one other figure that I got in a previous video, since I got a loose version of them, and I want to showcase a couple of books that I just got that showcase some of the Star Wars universe.